Welcome to In Her Voice, a podcast created for women who listen to and live by their deepest wisdom, their inner voice. This was made for you, the woman who feels pulled to more, to lead, to create, to dream, and to be a world changer. My name is Kelly Covert, and I am an inner voice coach. Join me here each week as we explore what it means to reach for your inspired potential, all while honoring your worthiness each and every day. Hi there, it's Kelly. It's Saturday, March 21st, and the world is a different place. If you are feeling like me, it's been a week. It has been a week. Coronavirus is here in America. In New York, we are locked down. We've been told not to leave anywhere. Only essential traveling trips, like going to get groceries and things like that. Otherwise, we are home. Our kids are home. For the foreseeable future. And I have to be really honest with you guys. I thought I had it all together. I did that gratitude meditation last week for you. And I was like, yeah, I've got it. I'm on it. I'm just going to double down and be strong and, get shit done. And then Thursday, I woke up and I was a ball of anxiety. And then Friday, same. And then today, the same. And here's the thing. If you know me, and I think you guys know me, I am not really a worrier. And so this is not normal for me. This is not how I normally feel. And I've been giving myself a lot of latitude to feel the feelings. And I have given myself a lot of permission to make changes in my schedule, in my routine, in my expectations for what I'm going to get done. And as I was doing all of this, I realized, wow, these are perfectionist issues right here. Because really, perfectionism is about control. It's about controlling your life in such a way that you protect yourself, or you try to protect yourself. I don't think it actually works, right? You try to protect yourself from failure, from feeling not good enough, from feeling vulnerable. And the reality is we don't have control over this situation. And this can go two ways, right? Like we can try to be as controlling as we can of everything else and make everything else perfect. And guess what? We will fail at that, and it will be really damn hard. And I thought to myself, I know a lot of recovering perfectionists are here and listening and with me. And so I think I'm not the only one who needs to hear this. So this is for me as much as it is for you. These are the things that I've been noticing in myself. These are the things that I've been practicing, that I've been being aware of, and it is helping. It is helping. So this is Lockdown for Perfectionists, a step-by-step guide to reminding yourself that you are enough today and you do not have to be perfect. So number one, please be nice to yourself. Please be nice to yourself. Now is hard enough already without beating yourself up over what you didn't get done today or over yelling at your kids, hashtag homeschool life, right? Like be nice to yourself. Take a bath, sleep in a little bit, take a nap, lower your expectations right now because we are in a crazy hard time. And now is not the time to decide that you're going to lose 50 pounds and come out of lockdown sleek. And here's the thing, maybe you will, but let's be gentle about that, right? Now is not the time to say, I'm going to learn new language. And maybe you can, and maybe you will, but be nice to yourself. Stop beating yourself up. Number 2, recognize where your perfectionism is showing up. This has been a really powerful practice for me this week. Really, basically what I'm doing is calling myself out on the perfectionism. And each day I'm giving myself this prompt. How can I find ease in today? And almost always the answers to those questions have to do with letting things be messy, letting things be imperfect, letting myself and my kids fail at things. It's not gonna be pretty every single day, and that's okay. So I have really been calling myself out on their perfectionism, and I've been giving myself opportunities to highlight ways to take it easy, to take that pressure off of myself. Okay, this is a biggie. Number 3, I'm probably going to lose count. You guys will forgive me, I'm sure. Don't hide. Don't isolate. When you feel the perfectionism coming on, this is what it feels like for me. I look around and I think I'm not living the life I want to be living right now. I don't feel fully aligned, and I don't want anybody to see that. That's a red flag for me, because if I start to hide and I feel it's funny because I don't like falsely advertise, right? Like I'm not saying things that aren't true. I just don't say anything. I hibernate. I go into isolation, because if no one can see me messing up except for me, then maybe that's okay. And I call bullshit on that, right? If I find myself hiding, isolating, hibernating, that is the time for me to see, okay, like this is a red flag. I am falling back into perfectionism. I'm falling back into not believing that I'm good enough right now. Because here's the thing, we're not going to be aligned 100% of the time, right? Even in self-development, we're going to mess it up. And so calling myself out and bringing that to light is really, really helpful. And the other side of that is be willing to ask for help. So I had my book club last night. We met on Zoom, a virtual book club. It was amazing. And I shared that I was feeling really vulnerable about how to help others. I've been seeing people help others in lots of different ways. And those other ways that I've been seeing haven't been vibing with me. They haven't been resonating with me. And then I feel guilty. I'm like, well, what's wrong with me if I don't want to go out and do Meals on Wheels, right? That was just the example. And then I go down that path of beating myself up. And so I was able to share with my close girlfriends last night about how I was feeling, and they supported me, and they helped me recognize where my service comes in, where my work comes in. And you know what? You know where that is, right? It's here. It's here with you. And sometimes for me, this feels so easy and effortless. I forget that it's service because I love doing it. But the fact is, this is one of my gifts, and this is how I should be sharing. So because I didn't allow myself to hide and hibernate, because I showed up, and because I was vulnerable with my people, right? I was able to receive that support that I needed. So ask for help. And maybe that's from your friends, and maybe that's from a coach, and maybe that's from a sibling, maybe that's from a partner. But be willing to show up. When you start to feel like it's time to hide, let that be a red flag. Okay, I don't know what number we're on. Allow yourself to feel the feelings. So I woke up feeling anxious the past 3 days, and it comes in waves. Tonight I was cooking dinner, and all of a sudden I felt anxious and my hands were shaking. And I just acknowledged it. And I said to my husband, wow, I'm feeling really anxious right now. And he just said, I know, me too. And like we sat in it together. and it passed. So you really have to allow yourself to feel the emotions and let them flow through you. The emotions are coming swiftly for me anyway. So if you let them flow through, don't try to deny them. Don't try to stuff them down. If you feel the tears, let them flow. If you feel the laughter, laugh. If you feel anxious, be anxious and let it flow through you. Feel it and then let it go. That has become a really powerful practice for me this past week. This one is a biggie. This is a biggie. So whatever number we are on, don't overschedule, don't overplan, and don't expect too much. So Monday, my kids went to school for the last day. And then Tuesday, we're like, okay, we're homeschooling. This is going to be the schedule. And we're going to get up every day at this time. And we're going to do this and this and this. And I Googled all these enrichment ideas for them. And they were like, dude, what is wrong with you? Why do we have to do all this extra stuff? And I was like, oh yeah, I don't have to win at lockdown, right? I don't have to do all of the things. I don't have to overplan. I don't have to achieve during this time. And in fact, it's funny because like Wednesday, I every morning I write 3 big things I want to get done that day. And I wrote 3 things, and at the end of the day, I'd only done 2 of them. And then I looked at the list, and none of those 3 things were schooling for my children. Hello, that's like the biggest part of my day right now. And I didn't even include that. So it's about being realistic about what we can accomplish during this time and going back to a couple of times ago. The first one, I think, be nice to yourself. You do not have to win at this. It's not a competition, as I would say to my children. Okay, take breaks. Take breaks. Take a lot of breaks. Be nice to yourself during those breaks. Don't feel guilty. I saw someone post on Facebook today, is it just me or does everyone else feel lazy? Here's the thing, you guys. Our nervous systems are like haywire right now. We are so overtaxed on adrenaline and anxiety and fear, right? Like it's real. None of us have ever experienced this right now. And whether you feel it or not, your nervous system is taking all of that on. So if you're feeling tired, rest. Don't be mean to yourself about that. Don't deny yourself what you're needing in the moment, because I think that it's real. And I think that we have to really understand what our physical bodies are going through at the same time that our emotional bodies and our spiritual bodies are going through this thing. So it's a lot of stress on our bodies right now. And if we're over planning and over scheduling and doing too much and then not taking any breaks and not resting, or resting but feeling bad about it, we're not really serving ourselves well. Okay, so this is a big one. This one is a big one for me. I imagine it will be for others too. And I've been seeing this a lot online, and I've just decided that I'm not going to tolerate it. Like I am, how shall I say, gently bringing attention to the fact that we need to honor everyone's choices. Okay. And I see this a lot in the whole parenting, schooling thing right now. Like how can you let your kids be outside playing basketball with their buddy? How can you be doing this? I can't believe that this person is doing this. And, here's the thing. When we honor everyone's choices, whether or not we agree with that, they have their own story. They have their own reasoning. They have their own way of doing things. And I'm not talking about people who are blatantly disregarding rules. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about choices about how we're being with our family and about how we're approaching this time, right? If we honor each other's choices, in doing that, we're honoring our own choices. But when we're constantly judging and constantly criticizing other people's choices, that will come back around to us. It's like giving ourselves permission to judge our own choices. So if you're always judging someone else's, that voice just keeps going and it's turned back around onto you. Okay. I find almost always when that critical voice pops up in regards to someone else's choices, it's really me projecting onto myself that criticism. And I don't want that for me and I don't want it for other people. So really try to honor each other's choices during this time. Okay. And here's my last tip. Double down on gratitude and grace. So, I shared my gratitude meditation last week. I was really feeling pulled to double down on my own gratitude practice. And you may say, like, what does that look like for you? This is what it looks like for me. Every night before I go to bed, I sit down with my journal and I just think of every single thing that I'm grateful for. And they could be big things and they could be small things. And maybe I do 3 and then I do one more and then I do one more and then I do one more. And I just keep going. I keep going and until I have 10 or 15 or 20 things. And this is why. Because gratitude reminds us how much we have, especially in a time where it feels like everything is being taken away from us. And that is so important. And when we couple gratitude with grace, that's like the dream formula for a perfectionist, right? Grace means we understand it's not going to be perfect. And yet, and still, we love ourselves anyway. And you know what? We can have gratitude for grace. Oh my gosh. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for this microphone in front of my face right now. I'm grateful for every person who's listening to this. I'm grateful for every person who's not listening to this. We need each other. We need gratitude and we need grace and we need to understand that we've got this. We've got it. We are worthy.